So guys, let's talk about the FAR 31.2 clause. Let's talk about the allowable and unallowable cost for government contractors depending on the contract. We're going to make this simple. We're not going to make this complex. There's no laundry list of what's allowable or what's unallowable. It depends on the contract. So the first thing I want to do, I actually want to bring over the clause because I want to show you, I just don't want to tell you, I want to show you how to dissect this stuff, right? Determining the allowability. Can I write this off on the contract to either get reimbursed or basically get that accounted for within the project? The main thing you need to address is this expense reasonable for the contract? Can I assign it to a project cost? And then also, is it in the terms of the contract? Usually things like alcohol, first class trips, marketing and advertising for your attire business, these are things that are not what we call allowable expenses when it comes to DCAA contracts, right? So that's what you need to start thinking of. Is this reasonable and necessary for the contract? Can I assign it to a project? And is it in my terms of the contract where it says I cannot spend money on this? That's why it's important to read the contract. So that's what's allowable. There's no list where it's a checkbox where you can see, oh, I can spend that. You need to read the contract, right? You need to read the contract. Is it reasonable for the contract for you to do your job? Can I assign it to a cost pool? Is it somewhere in the terms of the contract where it says I cannot spend money on this, right? Usually things like alcohol, partying, expenses for like your network, Christmas parties and whatnot, and first class trips and advertising and marketing, those are common things that these agencies aren't going to reimburse you on. You need to keep that in mind before they do any cost adjustments. And to address the second part here, the best practice, you want to have a section in your chart of accounts. I'm looking at a chart of accounts of a normal government contractor. You see direct costs there, you see your fringe benefits, your facility, your overhead, right? These are your indirect expenses. You need a section within your chart of accounts that addresses the unallowable expenses. Here are common unallowable expenses. This may vary depending on what project you're working with. So keep that in mind. But that's how you need to track your unallowable expenses because these officers are requiring you to track that. And if you get audited, they're pulling to see, are you recording this properly? Is it consistent, right? So once again, that's your allowable versus your unallowable cost. Hope that helps.